just imploded, man. What? Ooh, get rocked, man. Dude, that guy imploded. He imploded. That one didn't stand a chance. Rocked. Still playing. Alright, come on, you guys. What's going on here? Blood and gore everywhere. Renegade chest guard. That's got some sort of set on.
More fallen dwarves. We must be close.
You won't find out standing here.
That's right. We won't.
This is it. Quick climb. Up you go. Nordring! Nordring, there are too many orcs. We'll never hold them long enough. Maybe not, but we can try. Well then, come on, you filth! Baruch Kazor! Kazara Menu!
We're friends! We're here to help you!
We must work together to overcome these odds.
There's a mounted crossbow over there.
Man the mounted crossbows!
We'll hold them off! Kazan! Kazan!
Keep them away from the weapon! At all costs!
Feel my wrath and despair!
I think I can
This
keep
will
him.
strike you down.
I think I can keep him off of him.
Possible.
I am close to death.
Can't do that yet.
Easy, friend. I will help you.
Sorry to put you to that bother, my friend. And the defensive crossbow.
To the crossbow! It's the only way!
And the defensive crossbow.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Oh boy.
I don't know what brings you to a place like this, but I'm mighty glad to see you all the same.
We might say exactly the same. What are you doing here?
We've come to activate an ancient weapon.
With luck, it'll kill a lot of orcs.
What sort of weapon?
You'll see.
Once
You'll
activated,
see.
it'll take some
Right.
time to do its work.
Aye, and it's sure to bring a lot more orcs down on us, too.
No time for dilly-dallying. Go ahead and use it.
We'll hold off the orcs.
A horn call? Are you mad? You're calling them here.
I did warn you about that.
Trolls!
This is a tall order.
Another troll.
Assist me.
Keep them away from the weapon at all costs!
Oh boy, that is a tall order. Is that 4? did it. They were getting close to dying there. It was getting a little sketchy. A little sketched out. I would say it's a pretty clever tactic. Build your fortress and then build stone wall around.
The whole mountain is coming
and
down!
pillars around.
A good deal of it
the horn,
anyway,
and when you
just
blow
as
the
we
horn, it
hoped.
breaks it.
You knew this was going to happen?
Takes out all your
It's what we
enemies
came
and
here
the
for.
entrance that they get.
We had to strike this blow if our people are to survive.
Pretty clever.
I'm heartily sorry for getting all of you killed as well.
I don't think we need to worry about death just yet. Look!
Durin's beard!
Durin's beard. Beautiful.
Well, this is a day I'll not soon forget. I've seen a few things in my time, but I've not flown on an eagle's back till today. Well, now that it's a bit easier to talk, let me thank you properly for saving our lives and bid you welcome to Nordenbad, our home. Nordri's father, the Lord Gorin, will want to speak with you. Nordri's gone ahead to report on the Gundabad raid and to tell him about everything you did for us.
Why did you lead your warriors against Mount Gundabad?
We keep a careful watch on the orcs in the mountains. When we saw them gathering in large numbers at Gundabad, we had reason to believe they were preparing to move against us here. We didn't like our chances against that many orcs, but we knew about the hidden weapon at Gundabad. So Nordri and I led a small force there to use it against them.
Seems like a suicide mission to me.
Aye, every dwarf was a volunteer and knew he wouldn't be coming back.
But you said Nordri is Gorin's son? He let his son go on a mission like that?
He didn't have a choice. After a lifetime of lecturing the lad about his duty to his people, there was no way Gorin could say no when Nordri volunteered, much as he'd have liked to.
I'd like to know a bit more about the weapon you used to collapse the ceiling at Gundabad.
It was an ancient defense made by the dwarves who delved Gundabad long ago. Nobody understood the qualities of stone better than the dwarves of old, and they knew that just the right sound can cause solid stone to split. They use that knowledge to build a defense against any enemy who might force their way past the gates of their home.
But Mount Gundabad has been in the hands of the orcs for centuries. How did you know about so ancient a weapon?
Aye, it's been in the hands of the orcs for many a year, but not straight through. I was only a lad when my people fought a great war against the orcs, when my father helped sack Gundabad. He was one of the stoneworkers who found the weapon. It made a big impression on him, and he told me the tale so many times I was sure I could find the thing and use it against the orcs.
But how could you be certain it would still work after all those centuries?
We didn't. The whole thing was a gamble. Luckily it paid off.
So, do you have something like that here?
Some things are best left secret, I think.
Do you think the orcs will follow us here to Nordenbad?
Escaping on eagles like we did will throw them off the trail a bit, but it won't be long before they realize it was a group of dwarves that hit them first, and that'll get them thinking about us here. It's not like they're not thinking about Nordenbad anyway, but I'll let Gorin tell you more about that.
I'm pleased to make the acquaintance of a fellow dwarf, but between the fighting and traveling and all, I don't think we got your name.
Oh, confound me for an old fool. Bruni, son of Bane, at your service and your families. I'm captain of the Nordenbad Guard and a servant of Lord Gorin.
We traveled east a long way over many mountain peaks to get here. But where in Middle-earth are we exactly?
Aye, it's east you've come. Clean over the Misty Mountains and along the length of the Grey Mountains. You've left the lands of Eriador behind. You're on the northern edge of the land of Rovanion now.
I'd like to hear a bit more about your Lord Gorin before we meet him.
Gorin's a great leader. He'd have to be to hold Nordenbad together for so long, surrounded by enemies and starved for basic necessities as we are. There's not a dwarf here who wouldn't lay down his life for him.
We'll be happy to speak with your Lord Gorin.
Just make your way past the doors you see yonder and you'll find him within. The guards have been instructed to let you pass.
Awesome.
I suspect I'm the first man to see the inside of these halls.
I am certain I'm the first elf to do so.
What a grand view this is. Bit chilly for my liking, though.
Should have did that way sooner.
Here, sire, those I spoke of. Allow me to present a kinsman, Farron of Erebor, and also Andriel and Eridan, his companions. We succeeded in our task, and I live to tell of it, thanks only to their aid.
You are most welcome here, kinsman.
Right.
And no less so your companions, be they man, elf, or eagle. Welcome all to Nordenbad, last hall of the Longbeards in the Grey Mountains. You have returned to me, my son and my oldest friend, whom already I mourned as lost. For this, you will forever have my gratitude and the hospitality of these halls. Know that this is not something lightly given, for never before have we allowed any but our own folk to pass these gates. And no eyes have gazed upon the hidden lake of Azanzaram, save those of our close kindred. Yet for what you have done, I will gladly lay aside our ancient oath of secrecy.
You are fellow Longbeards. Then we truly are kin. I didn't know any of our folks still dwelt in the Grey Mountains.
Aye. In centuries past, most of our kin called these mountains home. But then the dragons came from the far north. One by one, our halls were lost or abandoned. All but Nordenbad. We alone endured those dark times. And thanks to you, we may hope to endure our current troubles as well.
Tell me about this Nordenbad of yours.
My great-great-grandsire was the first to enter the caves of this mountain, where he discovered the hidden lake we call Azanzaran. He was awed by its beauty, and led some of his kin here. Slowly, over many long years, with loving hands and careful chisels, we created the halls you see before you. Nordenbad was never rich in gold or jewels, but its beauty would move even the most cold-hearted dwarf. That is why we have remained here for so long. There is not a dwarf among us who would not choose death over exile from our home.
I have beheld many an underground lake, but never one as large and beautiful as this. Is this the work of your kin?
Nay, my ancestors discovered Azanzaram even as you see it. We have worked with care to enhance what we found. A chip here, a tap there, fashioning bridges, halls, and tunnels. But always, we have taken care to preserve the great gift we were given.
Many orcs were slain at Gundabad, and that's work well done. But a lot of good dwarves died too. Couldn't you have just trusted these strong walls to defend you?
Were we dealing with the host of Gundabad alone, we would have done just that. We have repulsed many orc attacks in the past, but this time their numbers were far too great. Orcs and goblins have been pouring into Gundabad from every pit and cave in the north.
We struck them a heavy blow. But even so, we'll still be hard-pressed if they move against us here.
Now you know why my people were at Gundabad. But I cannot help but wonder what brought the three of you there.
We were seeking a servant of the enemy, a man known as Agandar.
Agandar. We are familiar with that one. Curse his Blackheart.
He appeared before our gates some weeks past and called us to parley in the name of Sauron the Great, so he said.
What did the snake have to say?
He demanded that we yield ourselves up to the mercy of Sauron.
Huh.
As if there was any mercy in the Dark Lord.
He lays claim to Nordenbad, telling us if we turn over our halls and riches without a fight, our lives will be spared, and we will be free to seek a new home elsewhere.
Of course, we would have nothing of that. When we defied him, he grew wrathful, threatening us with the fiery doom that overtook our ancestors.
Fiery doom? You don't think...
I fear he may have allied himself with the dragon Orgast, who dwells in these parts.
Oh,
With such a
man.
beast at his command, we would have little hope of resisting him.
You know, I didn't know there was a dragon existing still in the Lord of the Rings. I thought they were all dead. And then you play this game and there's a dragon.
A dragon? So Smaug was not the last of that evil breed.
Alas, no. There are dragons still to be found in these mountains, and yet more dwell on the wastes beyond. They may not be as great or wicked as was Smaug, but they are large and evil enough. Make no mistake about that.
But could even Agandaur persuade a dragon to do his will?
Perhaps not on his own account, but if he speaks for the Dark Lord, even Orgast would think twice before offending him.
Nah, dragons are wicked creatures, and their greed knows no bounds. Agandaur only has to name the right price.
Then would it not be best to destroy this dragon before it can be used as a weapon?
Well,
I guess he's not
destroy
canon.
Orgast. If only it were that simple. The attack on Gundabad would be a peaceful stroll around the lake in comparison. If it were so easy to slay dragons, there would be many more dwarves still dwelling in these mountains.
Urgost has never
Ooh.
taken notice of us before. We rather hoped it would stay that way.
They say it does
Oh,
not pay to
no.
leave a live dragon out of your calculations if you live near one.
And we cannot allow Agandaur to gain such a powerful ally.
Aye, better go after it before it comes after us. Where can we find Urgost?
You do not lack for courage, I will grant you.
Yeah, we're gonna go find him.
Yet we know not where the dragon dwells. No dwarf has discovered his lair and lived to tell of it.
Perhaps Radagast knows this secret, or can discover it. Seems there is little that happens in Wilderland that escapes his notice.
And who is Radagast?
Radagast the Brown. He is a wizard, a master of birds and beasts. He keeps to himself mostly, but he's a decent enough sort. As long as you mean no harm to the wild creatures he befriends.
He dwells within the forest of Mirkwood, away to the south. Perhaps your companion Belaram would know where to find him, for it is said that Radagast is a friend to the Lord of Eagles himself.
We should travel to Mirkwood. If Radagast knows as much as you say, it is certain to be worthwhile.
Indeed. But
Yeah.
before you set out, please accept a token of our gratitude. Seek out my steward Galar. I have instructed him to open our vaults to you. I believe you may find something within that will be of service in the days ahead.
You know what sucks? I'm gonna get this weapon from handing this in, but I have this stupid mithril thing on the piece that I already have.
Ah, there's a view that would move the heart of any dwarf. It's marvelous.
I still can't believe I'm alive. I thought I would draw my last breath in the fetid air of Mount Gundabad. Mind you, I'm not complaining.
Your father, Gorin, does he claim the title of king?
King? Oh, no. He is merely the Lord of Nordenbad. We acknowledge Dane Ironfoot as the rightful king of the Longbeards. Not that he has any idea of our existence.
Dane, huh?
Someday, you'll be the Lord of Nordenbad. I hope you will re-establish ties with the rest of your kin when that day comes.
Secrecy has always preserved us here before, but it can't do so for much longer. We are a dwindling folk, and this war has only made that worse. Nordenbad is precious, but I see little point in leaving it empty. If we survive the days ahead, we will seek out our kin. My father sees the need for this as well. Were it not so, I wouldn't have dared bring you and your friends to our hidden halls.
Tell me a little bit about Bruni. Obviously, he's good in a fight since he survived Mount Gundabad.
Bruni is the captain of our guard, the terror to the orcs of these mountains. He's been my father's best friend since long before I was born, and he taught me how to wield an axe, and what it means to serve.
I gather you've been in Mirkwood before?
I've been around it a lot more than in it, and that suits me just fine. I don't care for that wood. Don't know how anyone could. But I've often traveled to the eaves of the forest to trade with the Bjornings who live thereabout. It was on such a trading venture that I happened to meet Radagast.
I met a few of these Bjornings on my journey west. What do you know of them?
A hardy folk, and brave, as any who dwell between Mirkwood and the Misty Mountains would need to be. Under their chieftain, Grimbjorn, they've kept the mountain passes and river crossings open, even in these troubled times. But I've heard rumors of war on their borders of late. The high passes may now be closed, at least to those without the benefit of eagle wings.
Yeah, I never knew about Bjornings until now either. Just, yeah.
Can you tell me more about Radagast?
He's an unusual sort. Friend to all beasts and birds. To be honest, I don't think he cares much for dwarves. But maybe he just prefers the company of animals. One thing's certain, there are few people with more knowledge of this part of the world. He even spoke of Nordenbad as if it were common knowledge.
Tell me about the dragon.
What do you think of our chances against Urgost?
It's not that I doubt your courage and skill. And I'd be mighty glad to no longer have a dragon as a neighbor. But truthfully, I wonder if anyone can overcome such a beast. I just hope your luck proves equal to your daring.
What will you and your kin do now, Nordri?
I'm afraid we're all out of tricks to play. All we can do is prepare our defenses, hunker down and wait for whatever the winds of war might blow our way.
Good luck with whatever befalls. Farewell, kinsman. There is some fine stonework here. Very fine indeed. There are skilled artisans here, to be sure.
Okay. Hi.
Ah, you must be Farin, our distant kin from the Lonely Mountain. Word of you has spread like a beard on fire. Well, this is a rare treat. I hope all your folk are such fierce warriors. The enemy will feel your blows for a long time to come. So, how can I help you today?
This guy's a repair guy, so if it works just like the elf people, then he should be the... Yeah, I found these items.
Keeping a place like this secret for so long, well, I can't help but wonder if you found something too valuable to speak of. Mithril, let's say?
Oi! We've no such wealth as Mithril here. Not that I haven't dreamt of finding a vein of true silver. I work iron and a bit of ordinary silver or gold. A few gems here and there. Mostly we hide to escape the notice of the dragons. Bad blood between dwarves and dragons as well, you know. And then there's all the orcs. Ah, but I dream of a day when we could trade for finer goods. I've been working on a silver belt studded with crystal, with a special mount for the gem I crave above all others. The gem that comes from no mine.
What dwarf doesn't have a love for that treasure? It's pearls you speak of.
Pearls! The most perfect and beautiful of precious things. How they glimmer and gleam. I've hoarded a small handful of white pearls, but even those won't satisfy me for this belt. My dream of perfection is nothing less than the fabled Black Pearl. I've heard rumor of them, but I fear I'll never see one.
Oh, can I find one?
Leave it to me, kinsman. If there's a black pearl to be found in these parts, I'll bring it to you.
Mighty good of you.
Nice
You'll
quest.
find me generous should you return. I mean, when you return. Anything else I can do for you?
Ha! I'd know that smell anywhere. You've singed your beard.
Well, hard to be a smith without getting a few sparks in your beard. What do you expect when you're working with a hammer and forging hot metal? They've taken to calling me Burry Birdbeard. Used to have a beard down to my belt. Well, shorter is safer. Long as you keep a bucket of water handy, there's nothing to worry about.
I wonder how your skills stand up against the smiths of Erebor.
I'm no braggart, but I'll put my skills up against any smith, dwarf, elf, or man. You may think I don't know much, being set apart from others of my craft. But I'll tell you a little secret. My grandsires go back all the way to the smiths that worked alongside the great elven smith, Celebrimbor himself. In the days of ancient Eregion, there was a
Shout
great
out
friendship
Middle-earth,
between elves and
Shadow of
dwarves.
War, Shadow of Mordor,
We've
shout
passed
out.
down skills from forgotten times. I know runes of power and other secrets that give my weapons and armor a hidden strength you'll not find elsewhere. You won't complain about my work.
Dude, turning down that music was a clutch move. I can actually hear what they're saying. Fuck.
Here, Burry.
Here we go.
You might find these old relics interesting. What do you make of them?
Well, now, I'm no lore master, but these look to be the work of men. Ancient, beyond a doubt. Superb work. Some of the finest I've seen. Perhaps even the work of Westerness from Numenor, that now lies beneath the sea. I could put these together into a single weapon for you. And a superior weapon it would be. Mind you, I'd be applying my own craft to it, so it'll also have the qualities of a dwarf weapon.
And that
Yes,
would
please.
differ from an elven smith?
That's the
Yes, it
way of
would.
it. An elven smith would bring certain qualities to the work if he were to put this together, but I think you'll be satisfied with what I can add as well.
Please go ahead.
I could ask for no more than the craftsmanship of a newfound kinsman. Go ahead, if you please.
It'll be a pleasure to work on something new, or ancient in this case. Rest your heels while I get to work on this. There you go. That's a weapon that begs for an enemy to feel its wrath. May it serve you well against that foul, orc-loving Agendour.
Magnificent work, Burry. Not even the mastersmiths of Erebor could have done better. You have my thanks.
Nice. Let's see what we can get. Staff. Which is pretty strong. It's actually pretty good. However, because of that damn mithril, and also because it's a damn sword, why wouldn't they give us a... We're dwarves, man. Like, I'm a dwarf, and they're dwarves. Why wouldn't they give us a choice of a freaking, like, at least a freaking mace, man? Like, one-handed blunt. Well, I'm gonna take that one. Oops, and hand it off to Andriel. Nice. Because what I have is still pretty powerful compared to that one. Wait.
I'd best be going.
Oops.
So you're the stranger from Erebor. You look like a proper dwarf in spite of that, I guess. Now that you know we're here, I suppose we'll be overrun with distant ken coming to gawk at our lake. Are you here to buy something? I've an excellent stock of the best Nordenbad craftwork, so speak up. Time's a waste.
Your welcome leaves something to be desired, kinsman. Why the soured mood?
Well, let's see. We've got an orc army growing, a dragon hungry for dwarf snacks, and one of Sauron's lieutenants making threats. Pardon me while I break out in a song and dance. Now see here, I need to do some business, so how's about you buy something before I get downright grumpy?
It must be hard to find trade goods when you're hidden away in this place.
We've had a rough time of it here, I won't deny it. Mostly we managed some trade with the Bjornings, the men who live down south of us in the Vales of the Anduin. They've good use for our metalwork, and they bring us foodstuffs in return. Otherwise, there'd be mushrooms for breakfast, mushrooms for lunch, and mushrooms for dinner. You wouldn't believe how many ways we've learned to cook mushrooms. That's enough jabbering. If you're not going to buy something, let me get back to my work.
See here, Goran himself sent me. He said to talk to his steward and choose something as a token of his gratitude.
Yes, yes. He may have mentioned it to me. It was rather too generous of him. Not that I don't appreciate what you did, but how does he expect me to increase our wealth by giving our best work away? Well, here you go. Take your pick.
Let's see what other things we have. So, dexterity and damage, dexterity, damage, dexterity and a socket. Why is it all dexterity? I guess I'll take the gloves because it's an upgrade armor-wise. And then it also has dexterity on it. So it's an armor increase and it's a stat increase. Probably gonna end up replacing that because I'll probably find something better.
Are you here to buy something? Speak up. Time's a wasting.
I'm wearing this so that the prices are reduced. I'm probably going to be getting a new set of armor here soon. From this guy at least. There it is, adamant with a slot. Science. 126 plus 35 armor. Wait, am I stupid? Oh, it's 58 plus 35. What I have is better still, because it has that increase. 195. That's kind of a huge upgrade, so I'm gonna take it anyway. Hopefully I find something else with adamant. Probably not gonna find something that's better. Whoa. That skill cooldown reduction is really nice. 148 to 215. It's not better. That skill cooldown reduction is 281 at 240 durability, 246 at 310. That's our best one right there. $72. Armor is better, I think. Much better looking shield as well.
Are you here to buy?
How close am I? I'm pretty close to leveling up. Alright. So I've completed all the quests that I've had up until this point. I've got a new quest to search for a black pearl. Maybe I should go ask Jack Sparrow. This will continue on past this area for a little bit. So I'm okay here. And that's just the main quest. Traveling to Mirkwood. So we're good there. And awesome.